Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. What a busy few days we had. You will be all caught up now and know we have water in the pond. Took a couple of days more than we wanted, but we got there in the end. And it's amazing that you guys joined me for the journey. So what we're going to do today, a little bit of a short one, hopefully not quite as stressful. We haven't got any leaks, thank goodness, but we're going to do the air pump. We've been and got that from my dad's. We're going to cut the tube to be able to put the air through it and tidy up a few little bits, wire it in, etc. So join me for hopefully a nice easy one with no mistakes or hurting my leg. Let's get into it. Okay, so what I'll do first is I'll catch you up on where we are. We've got a net that's on it ready for the fish. We are going to be doing a fish in cycle as well, which I will explain in the next video. So this is where the water drains. You pull that up and it drains. So previously we had this pipe, this gutter going to a drain, and then we had a gutter with a drain coming off of the extension there. So we've connected that with a drain pipe going all the way along. That now goes into the drain, and then what we've done is we've put this upright pipe where the pond drains. So that goes in and down, and there's actually like a little collection cup in there for any big debris or leaves that may go down the filter. And it does work, I promise you. I'll show you. So we pull that up, should be able to hear it. Can you hear that? Draining away nicely. Lovely. So what we're going to do today, this is the air pump. It's the Evolution Aqua air pump AP70. Pretty powerful, too powerful if anything, for just one bottom drain, which is why we let some air go off in other places. So we're going to take this off, but before we're going to have to cut this down, put this elbow on to be able to connect the air to it. So we'll do that bit first. So the first thing we want to do is chop this about here. It's important this remains above the water line, otherwise the water will come up and then come out of the air hose. So we're just going to cut it just to about there. That should be plenty, because then you've got the width of the elbow as well. Lovely. Not very straight, but that's fine. Okay, so first of all, same as before, let's just give the edges a little rub down, clear out that, try not to get too much in there. This is obviously the air, and then we've got this part, which is what we've cut off the other piece of the old one. So this was on the old pipes, and then what we've got to think is this is going to go on there, and this will go here, or possibly, yeah, we'll have it come backwards. Right, so it's going to be the same as before. We're going to use this stuff. We're not going to use quite as much this time, hopefully. Right, same way. What we're going to do first, we're going to do the separate part. So with this, just round the outside like that. Used absolutely loads again because I'm ridiculous. And then the inside of the elbow, and we're just going to do that by running that round. That should be plenty. And again, now what we're going to do, we're just going to push them together and hold them tight for a second. Make sure they're lined up. It's not crucial they're exactly lined up, but hold that nice and tight just for a few seconds. Get rid of any excess. Lovely. Then we're going to do the same on this part. So we're going to go round there, and then we're going to go get some debris out of there. Then we're going to go on the inside of this one as well. So we've done that. Then we're going to the back here, so make sure you've got it where you want it to go, and then push it down and hold it. Shouldn't have to hold it for too long. Again, I like to just wipe away any excess, because there's always excess when I do this, because that's me. Cool. So we leave that to cure. Okay, so we've got the control panel from last time. That is all turned off, so we're not going to electrocute ourselves. We just need to slide it off. And then we're just going to do the same as before. We just go undo all the screws. So this reveals the inside. The air pump is going to go on this one. So we've got to do the same as we did before. Unscrew the bottom here. So now we're just going to unscrew the green bit that corresponds. This is always the important part. Thread that onto the wire for the air pump, because you can't do it afterwards, and it's always, if it happens, it's an absolute pain. Now you've got to try and thread this through this hole, which again can be fiddly. You can take this little piece right off, to be fair, which is probably easier, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm actually going to try and wire it without, if you remember last time we undid this screw and took the whole thing out, I'm actually just going to try and do this one in situ. So let's see. So we've got to put earth, we're going to put earth in first. Next is neutral, and do the same again. Lovely. And now for the live wire, same again. Don't squeeze it too tight with the pliers, because you will then rip through the insulation. And then start again. Give them a little tug, just make sure they're okay. Yeah, they're held in there nicely. So next thing is get the green thing, screw that back on, and then we're going to put the wire holder back on. Now let's get this cover back on, like that. Pop that back on the holder. Like that. So that's that first bit. Now I've gone into quite a bit of detail, as much as I can, with the whole pond build, and one of the main reasons was when I was building my pond, you could find people building the pond, but they didn't explain how they did certain parts, and those were the bits that I needed to know. So I've tried to go into as much detail as I can, but of course, if you need to know anything else about any of it, just comment, and I'm happy to tell you what I know. It's not a lot, and it is DIY, but you know, together we might be able to work something out that works good for everyone. So right, now we are going to go and turn that on, check the air pump works. Actually, before we do that, we're going to change the UV bulb. I've got a new one. This one hasn't been changed since I last used it, so let's put that one in now. This is the Cockney Koi Algae Master 25 Yamitsu. So this is just how you do it for this one. It's really simple. We've isolated the water there for the return to the pond, and from the Easy Pod, some water will still remain, but hopefully not much. Make sure it's all turned off electrics, and it is. And then what we're going to do, we're going to first of all loosen this screw. You don't need to take it all the way off, if I remember rightly. And we're just going to pull that, and that will expose the bulb. You're then just going to pull that bulb out. Use some pliers. That slides out nice and easy. There we go. It's probably fine, that, and I will keep that as a spare. But I'd like to keep a new one most of the time. So as you can see, you've got that there, all looking fine. That was a bit loose, so we'll make sure that's tightened. So I used the Pisces one, not a branded one. They were quite cheap. Can't remember how much it was, but you've got two in the pack. It does exactly the same job As you can see, the colour difference between that one, does it show up on camera? Yeah, it does. So you can see the bottom one is much darker. So what we're going to do now, the first thing you're going to do is obviously be careful. Slide that in, and we're going to want to locate it into its holes in the other end first. There, so you'll feel it click and push that in. Now this bit can be a bit fiddly, so make sure your two holes there are going to line up with that, and then when you push, you find them, which we have first time, which is good. Push that on as far as it can go, and then whilst you're still pushing it on, do this screw back up, and that is how easy it is to change a bulb on the Cockney Koi Algae Master 25. So hope that's helpful. It sounds daunting, but it's not. It's really good. Right, let's go and turn the electrics on, and then we'll give it all a try. Okay, so the power's back on and the pump is working fine, so that's done. What we need to do now is connect the air pump, and hopefully that will start working. So with the EasyPod, you've obviously got this which connects to the EasyPod to be able to do a clean, and then you've got this which does your bottom drain, so you need this little divert valve. Okay, so we've got ours set up like this. We've added this little tap and these little pumps so we can let off some of the excess air, because it does pump out quite a lot. Right, so our air pump is down there. This is the hose coming from the air pump. We now need to connect this to this air fitting, like so. I've got some Pt8 tape around the bottom of that to make it a bit snugger. And then we're going to attach that to there. And hopefully take that little bit out. Pop that bit in there. And that bit in there. With these taps, it's got an on-off switch there, and then these taps where you can control how much air comes out. We're just going to leave that in there like so. Guys, I have just had an absolute brain fart. I, for the life of me, couldn't remember how I used to connect my air to the pond to be able to restrict the flow. Yeah, pretty pointless. I've done it now. I'll show you what it all looks like. Okay, so we've got the air pump under here. We've had to raise it up because we didn't have a long enough bit of the larger diameter tube, but we can get some if we need to. So that then comes up to this Y piece here, and then that Y piece connects straight to the bottom drain there. It then comes up here to this T section. This then comes up to the EasyPod for when you're doing maintenance, and then this is open, and this lets off some extra air through these little tubes. Otherwise you can't control how much flow you've got in the pond. So we've got the flow quite low at the moment, as you can see. And then what you'll do when you're doing maintenance or a clean, you'll turn your pump off anyway, and then you'll insert your little bit of plastic into there. We're not going to do that for now. And the way I then do it is I'll turn this off, so all the air will divert to this, and it will start mixing up all your media, etc., and that will give it a good clean. Then when I'm done, open that back up, and the flow will return back to the pond. Now, the reason the flow does still divert and you don't need anything on here is because air will take the path of least resistance. So it's a lot easier to get to this than it is to 1.3 meters of water. Right, so the air pump's working, so that's good. The only thing we need to check now is the UV. So let's turn it on. Perfect, so that's working as well. So UV done, air pump done. That isn't leaking, which is ideal. You can see the bottom drain there, that's the flow we've got at the moment. That's how I like it. Also got the swim skim working for now. So that's what it looks like on the outside there. Like I say, it's working nicely. So like I said guys, a nice short one today. So we've changed the UV bulb, that's working well now. We put the air pump in, that's working. We've got air going to the pond. We now can clean our filter and do a cycle with that. We'll go through that on another video. The only thing left to do now is to get some fish in here. Like I say, we're going to do a fishing cycle, a seeded fishing cycle, and I'll explain what that means on the next video. So thanks for watching, like, subscribe, and I'll see you very soon. Take care.